All right, Nick McCully, McCully Construction. We're here in Central Phoenix at our Phoenix Revival project. And really this project is super unique. It's on a huge lot in Central Phoenix, one you don't see very often. It had a huge lofty goal and a big set of plans and a big interior design. We were asked to get involved because of the specialty that we work inside of large scale renovation additions. So meeting with the client, meeting with the amazing design team, we spent about 6 months developing a budget for these clients. And then along the way, we kind of figured out that the ideal budget to accomplish all their hopes and dreams was going to push them a little bit past what they felt like was a good investment for them. We worked with the client, worked with the design team to value engineer this project. And even though it's a multi-million-dollar build, it's important for us to be a good steward of the client's money. And so value engineering this client to get them back down into a place that made sense for the area, what they wanted to put in the home, and then what the finishes needed to be, while still providing the best quality possible, is a pretty important step for us. So we're here at this project today. We've kind of finished demolition of the original 1947 home, or most of the original 1947 home. We've already decided what we're going to keep. And now we're coming to a place to where we're going to start forming up for foundations, pouring the concrete slabs, and then eventually get into the framing. This project here is probably going to take us about 9 months to complete, which would include a hardscape and landscape package, and still coming in at a place that is very reasonable for the client to achieve the final build. So now let's talk about what we're going to do to this house to improve it, add to it, and make it what the clients desire. Okay, so we're at the front of the project, essentially the front yard, the front street portion of this. And currently there's a small block wall at the front of the house. We're going to go ahead and remove some of that wall and create a beautiful front entry where we're going to design and lay out an amazing walkway, multiple finishes within pavers, coming all the way down the front of the property, just underneath our large tree, which we're gonna save. We're at the front of the house where we're gonna do about a 400 square foot addition. This is gonna be the homeowner's office at the front that's tying into part of the original structure, or really the second story was an addition, but the first story was original structure from 1947. We're gonna create a secondary walkway here that will tie up with the walkway that comes from the street or the front of the house, which will lead us over into our new foyer and our entry into our great room, which will be right about here for the main house. There will be additional living square footage that'll end up essentially where the pool used to be that we've removed, and then we'll frame a complete wraparound patio. And then as we get towards the back of the lot where the trees and the little mound are, there's gonna be a new pool back there with, again, fully finished landscape hardscape package. So when it comes to the pool that's here, there's really, or the pool that used to be here, there's kind of two ways to delete a pool. One, we can break a few feet of the bowl out with all of the walkway, and then break the bottom of the bowl and fill that in if you're not going to put anything on top of that. For us, what we chose was to completely remove the pool. And when we come back in to do grading on this lot, we'll excavate out all of the loose soil. And then what we'll do is we'll fill in whatever the civil engineer has required between a 12 and an 18-inch lift of dirt, compacting between each lift, and then having an inspection to test for soil compaction in between each lift that happens. So it's going to end up being somewhere between 5 and 7 inspections for that, but that will ensure that the earth is completely compacted so that any addition, be it livable space or the wraparound patio, is completely secure and will have no issues with any dirt kind of shifting or the soil not being compacted enough to where we could have a crack in the foundation or other issues in the future. Okay, so now we're in the backyard and we're actually standing in what's going to be the new primary suite. So what we've done is we've left some of the structure that was added at some point in the past. It's still good, and we're gonna frame entire new structure, new foundation, new footings, all the way back this direction, new underground, all new supply lines, electrical, etc. Now, when it comes to this part of a project, the non-negotiables for us inside of the world of value engineering, where we just don't value engineer, is anything that's structural, anything that's underground. Repairing those, replacing those later because we stop short, cut corners, anything like that is just really expensive and almost impossible to achieve. So in this case, we've already done some saw cutting for the undergrounds. When we form up and pour this new space and are ready for all the new undergrounds, all of this will be done to the top quality materials to the best of our abilities, so that in the future, there will be no issues no matter what they do. It's always easier to come back and maybe pick a little bit less expensive tile or pick a little bit less expensive carpet, because you can replace that pretty easily. But what you can't replace are your undergrounds, the quality of your foundation, the quality of the framing, things like that. Okay, so when it comes to value engineering and really getting bang for the buck, the reality is most people want the home done the way that they want it done. And we agree. A one and done situation is the best possible outcome for the house. Once you move in, you don't want to make a mess again. And so what we focus on primarily when we have the option is our landscape, our softscape, our hardscape packages in general. This is a big lot. It's got an amazing set of, wish I could have design plans for this. And we're already deep in the value engineering within landscape, and it's still going to be fully finished. It's still going to be stunning and beautiful, but there's a number of places that we're working with the client and the landscape design team to cut back or save things for later. Doing exterior work, landscape work later is much easier than altering the house later. And so I think this lot is in the neighborhood of 52,000, 53,000 square feet. So while we will have the pool, the wraparound patio, all of the deck, the sitting spaces, we'll have some fire pits and a lot of amazing features. As we come further into the backyard, some of this may end up being beautiful grass and have less of the hardscape features. So it's still usable. They can, their families, their kids can still have fun. But if they want to do stuff in the future, we'll be available to come back and do that when and if they decide to do that. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I'm looking forward to showing you the rest of this project as it comes together. I'm kind of excited to show you the best practices and the building methods we're going to use inside of this large-scale renovation. For us, it's all we do is large-scale renovation additions to luxury estates. We think it's completely different than building new. It's got a different set of rules, a different process all the way through. Our team is wired to do this work in a certain way, which again, we feel is very different than building new out of the ground, where you can control every facet of the build. And then as this expands, I'll be sharing more information with you all about that. If you like this video, want to see more, please hit subscribe, and we'll see you soon.